All right, welcome everybody. This is Bernie Miller, and this is my showcase of just great top loan officers here at the Federal Savings Bank. And today I'm super pumped to be able to ask a few questions to Bryan Landman. Bryan Landman, Senior Vice President. He runs our business down Miami, Aventura, Florida. He's got a great story. I'm going to let him tell some of that. But Chairman's Club producer here, and I'm just excited to have him on today. So, Bryan, welcome, man. Great to see you, bud.
Thank you, Bernie. Always good to see you.
So, hey, give us a little insight. I think one of the things I'm most proud about is just your start in the business and kind of how you've grown it. So, talk about that journey. How'd you get into this crazy thing? Everybody loves that.
Yeah, I mean, I was working just a regular, salaried position, W-2, doing a lot of financial analysis, and I just hit a wall. I hit a watermark, and I was like, this isn't for me. Had a big life change. My mom actually passed away, and it caused a big, what am I doing moment. I was getting married, and I said, hey, my life needs to take a little bit of a different path. I don't want to have a limit in terms of what I'm making or what I can do. And I just wasn't hitting my potential. And I felt that at that moment, and I jumped into this. I knew somebody at the bank. They had told me a couple months before, why don't you go be a mortgage banker? I think you'd be a great fit. Jumped on, flew up to Chicago. I got the most intense training I've ever had in my life by our training program, and it was
Yep.
awesome. And then I graduated with that, and then came back to Miami and started the journey.
Yeah, no, super cool. And hey, I think we have an awesome training program, but you did the work, right? I think you and I now have been doing this for long enough to know that training's awesome, but if that banker doesn't, make the calls, do the hard work, right? It doesn't work. So okay, so give me some insights, Bryan, on some of your business. Give me a couple of secrets. Because hey, you had a great year last year. You were actually up over 30% last year in a market where almost everybody was down. So what do you think are a couple of maybe secrets to your success that you could share for motivated LOs out there that are trying to make this happen?
So I think that, lucky to have a good year, but I think getting live and there was so much fear in terms of the unknown. And I personally shut that out, right? So I did away with the news. I did away with that negativity in the outside world. And I focused on what I could control. And I got live, every pre-approval gets face to face. I want to sit down with them, understand what they're concerned about so that I could explain, and navigate and what we're doing around that. It's really about showing them the stable path forward because I truly believe that real estate is the best investment out there.
Huge, right? And I think you implemented, I know we went a couple years ago in our coaching, every application on Zoom video at a minimum or in person if you can. And you actually implemented that. And I agree, man. I think that's your retention it has been really solid, especially in a rising rate environment where people are going to shop, right? And that's just what's going to
Yeah.
happen. So I think we're all encouraged to hopefully see a non-rising rate environment here at some point,
Yes.
which would be cool. Okay, so tell us. Obviously, we all hit landmines. We all make mistakes, right? Can you give us some insight maybe on a couple of bigger mistakes or maybe just setbacks you had and kind of how you learned from those and broke through them?
I think just in general, my weak point has always been right. My whole life is just conflict avoidance and not communicating through that. And you were actually one of the first people that told me that, having military experience, you're like, bad news does not get better over time. So
Right.
bringing that news, good, bad, obviously presenting it in the best light possible so nobody's freaking out, but just going to, let's say, the realtor partner or the buyer and saying, hey, we've got this situation right up front. We need to solve this. Let's find a path forward. And 9 out of 10 times the solution presents itself, right? But I think
Yeah.
it's just address the bad news, over communicate, and whether you can fix the problem immediately or not, I think people respect that.
Yeah, no, I think that's where we see a lot of loan officers, make a mistake is they have something go wrong in a file and they kind of think they can fix it. They don't communicate it. They let a few days go by and then all of a sudden it's a bigger problem, right?
Yeah.
So Brilliant, ton of maturity there. One thing, Bryan, that's really I think sets you apart, and I think sets a lot of folks apart, is you've stayed with the same company, right? You started here, you've been here now for, gosh, I don't know, 7, 8 years. How long has it been?
Yeah, 7 years.
I love that. So, talk to me about maybe a couple of advantages of the TFSP platform, your company's platform, that you think has helped you or set you apart.
I think people always think, oh, we can lend in all 50 states. Yeah, of course, that's a benefit. Like I can do loans everywhere, which is great. But I think that what keeps me, every day happy here is the fact that everybody is aligned and everybody's internal in my point of view, right? So
Yep.
processing, underwriting manager. Like I've jumped on the phone last year, 5 times with the national head of underwriting to talk through a scenario. And guess what? That gets approved when you do that. Funding, closing, it's all in house. So I don't lose control. Last year, we heard a bunch of nightmare stories of, oh, the money's not there. The company's going out of business. What's going
Right.
on? So I like to be able to say, hey, everything is done in house. I promise you we're going to close because of all those things that are within our realm.
Yeah. Well, and Bryan, I mean, you're a super knowledgeable LO. So, and I know you solve 95% of the problems with your team or with our ops team, but yeah, I mean, last year loans were hard, right? There were not easy loans out there. So having that access to senior underwriting just to solve some problems, absolutely, I think is a big advantage. Okay, super cool. All right. What do you think you're most excited about? I know you're an optimist. I am an optimist. I'm always excited. But in 2024, man, I think everything is different. What are you most excited about for this year coming up?
So, I thrive under pressure. And I think that what's going to happen as, people are predicting that the rates are going to come down. As rates come down, the prediction is that the prices are going to go up, just like last year. They were projected to go negative, and then they ended up up. I think the same thing for this year. And when that happens, we're just going to have so many more buyers. We're going to be in a position where we need to help our buyers fight for every home and fight for every offer towards the end of the year. And I thrive under that pressure. So, I'm in the buyer's corner, in the realtor's corner. I like to fight to get our offer accepted and explain why we are the best offer. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
excited for, just that pressure.
Well, and I think as loan officers, we're always trying to add value to realtors, right? Outside of a great rate or whatever. And I will say, I think one thing you do very well is at offer on multiple offers, you are highly trained and scripted to help your buyer kind of by reaching out to that listing agent, win the deal. And of course, when you do that, your realtors are also very excited because, of course, if there's 5 offers, 4 of those offers do not get done, right?
Yeah.
And our clients, our buyers don't get their dream home and nobody gets paid. So I do think that's something that you do incredibly well. So super, super cool. Okay. So, hey man, our goal here was to kind of go 5 or 6 minutes. I love this. I think these short little interviews, I just want to help other realtors, help other lenders out there, certainly showcase what you've done here. But man, Chairman's Club, you had an awesome year last year. Can you very quickly shout out some social media stuff, website, anything that you're promoting right now?
Yeah, so my Instagram handle is my name, Bryan Landman, at Bryan Landman with Y. So follow me there. I'm spitting out some financial tips, not just mortgage and real estate related, but also just generic things that I think are building wealth, important little tips, things that could help realtors and buyers, homeowners, past clients, everybody. I think so important. And we don't talk enough about money these days.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. I love it. All right, Bryan, thanks for being on with me. I so appreciate it. And hey, I am looking forward next year at this time, getting you back on, having you be up 30, 40% again, because I think that could absolutely happen. And we'll just share some more tidbits, because guess what? The market's always changing, and we need great advice from great LOs who are on the street like you. Awesome,
That's the
man.
plan. Thank you, Bernie.
Thanks, brother.